You haven't explained why it's obvious. Every Bluetooth earbud has a built-in DAC. What the fuck is happening with tech YouTubers in India? Alright guys, today is going to be a little bit different. I am reacting to a video by an Indian tech YouTuber called Trakin or Trakin. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Correct me in the comments. But this is a tech YouTuber that has decided to do an audio video, and it's really cool because they're covering something I'm very curious about. Basically, a budget true wireless earbud under 5,000 that happens to be an Astell&Kern, which I have never heard before, but if it's at this budget, I mean, I'm interested. Maybe it's something I've missed out. Maybe it's something I could cover for you guys in the future. And just generally, it seems to be a collection of audio reviews in one 15-minute video. So I can't wait. Let's check this out.
All right, folks. So I have found two products, this IM under rupees 2,000 and this TWS under rupees 5,000, which I think are going to be perfect for beginner audiophiles.
Nice. Beginner audiophiles, perfect, under budget. Love this already. This is a good start.
Welcome to yet another episode of my favorite audio products where I scour
episode
the
number
internet
6. Okay,
for
this is a
the
series.
best
I've
value
missed
for money.
episode
For this video,
1 through
you
5.
can tell that I have 3 IMs and 2 truly wireless
What a
earbuds. I'll start off with the truly wireless
It's true, I can tell that.
earbuds first. Initially, when the Pixel Buds Pro 2 came in for review, I wasn't very impressed. But there are certain products that grow on you after you've used them for a considerable amount of time. And the Buds Pro 2 is one of them. So much so that these are currently my daily driver TWS buds of choice. And there are
one of my daily driver buds of choice too. Okay.
two main reasons for it. The first one is the fit, which is fantastic. And secondly, the sound quality, which is surprising to me as well, considering the fact that these do not have LDAC or LHDC or any other high-res codec for that matter. The reason why the fit is so
Okay, LDAC, LHDC, high-res codecs, they don't matter as much as you think it does. There are some songs, some cases where you might hear a difference, but in most cases, audio quality really comes down to the tuning of the drivers, tuning of the earbud itself. The high-res stuff is a distant second. First get the tuning right, and a lot of true wireless earbuds don't, unfortunately.
So good is because they're extremely tiny, and secondly because you've got this new twist to adjust stabilizer, which basically locks into your ears once you put them inside, and it won't fall off come what may.
One caveat here, he's not wrong, it's a really secure fit. I mentioned that in my video, but I forgot to mention something in my video, and I'll mention that now. If you have large ears, then the Pixel Buds Pro 2 are so small and the wingtips on them are non-interchangeable, very, very small wingtips. So they might actually bounce around in your ear if you've got large ears. For me, it works fine, and for him, clearly it works fine. But for a lot of people, it might not, because you can't make the silicone wingtips larger like you can in some other devices like Bose's Quiet Comfort series and so on. So just a little disclaimer, this doesn't apply to all ears, but yeah, it seems to fit a lot of people.
As for the sound quality, the Pixel Buds Pro 2 is the king of micro detail and customization. In this song,
the king of micro detail and customization. I'm very curious about the customization part, but also, look, I don't know. I'm just a tech reviewer who has a focus on audio, so far be it from me to understand these fancy terms, but can someone tell me what micro detail is? What is micro detail? Does he know what micro detail is? Okay, maybe he's an audio god and he knows what micro detail is. Maybe he can even explain it with a great deal of lucidity and erudition. But you know what I know for damn sure? I bet his audience doesn't know. If this is meant for beginner audiophiles, explain what the micro detail is. Is it the detail under the detail? Is it detail inside the detail? Is it the little micro details embedded in the big macro details? Like those micro beads of plastic in your burgers that go into, like, just what the f is micro detail? Does somebody explain this to me? It's okay. Open mind.
Playing God by Polyphia, there's this intentional noise effect that has been added to make it sound raw.
Awesome
the Pixel
reference.
Buds Pro 2 reproduces that with utmost clarity, something that I haven't even heard on IEMs in the 10,000, 15,000 rupee price category. Also, the Buds Pro 2.
Okay, hang on. So the Google Pixel Buds Pro reproduced something in a Polyphia track that even wired IEMs under 10-15,000 rupees, by the way, Western audiences, non-Indian audiences, 10 to 15,000 rupees is about $150 to $200. Okay, to be fair, he said that he has tested. It's a good caveat to have because there are some really solid IEMs that will beat the living daylights out of the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2 in sub $150, sub $100 even. So, let alone the $200 price point. I'm just saying, it's a tall claim. But if he says it's amongst the stuff he has reviewed, all right, I'm going to give him a pass.
In general has a balanced sound signature that doesn't favor any single frequency, and none of the frequencies sort of overpower each other in the mix. But the best thing about the
Wait. What did he just do? The good thing is that there's nothing overpowering anything else, and then he shows a sound guy's graph. So he's got a sound guy's graph in there. I don't want to be the cynic here. I don't want to be the asshole, but first of all, this is a sound guy's graph. How has sound guys gone about acquiring this graph? Nobody knows. Well, you know if you've read their website, but he doesn't explain it. It's also measured on the BNK 5128, a relatively new measurement rig that a lot of audiophiles, forget beginner audiophiles, a lot of seasoned audiophiles even, don't necessarily know how to read. Just only because they haven't gotten used to it. They'll get there. We'll all get there. But right now, we're more used to an older standard. And also, what is a beginner audiophile even supposed to see from this graph if you don't give context? If you don't explain what you're supposed to see? And also, what do you mean nothing overpowers anything else? Look, 5 to 7, 8 kilohertz is just, there's so much energy there, more than the 2 and 3 kilohertz. So that is the definition of overemphasis. He's saying a thing and then the graph is saying another thing, and I don't know, it kind of looks like he's just put a graph there to say, hey, look, I've put a graph here. But maybe I'm judging too quickly. We'll wait, maybe there's more.
Of the frequencies sort of overpower each other in the mix. But the best thing about the Buds Pro 2 is that the 11mm drivers inside them can be EQ'd with the default EQ option in Android phones. On Pixel phones, it's built in. On other Android phones, you'll have to download the app separately. So you get a 5-band EQ, which you can of course customize as to your choice, but you've also got preset EQs, in which the clarity one is my favorite.
I remember the clarity one sounding really, really odd. Wait, let me see if I have... Yep, that's the clarity preset. That's my measurement, and that is wonky as heck, man. The heck is he talking? That is not a great preset. I've reviewed the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2. I highly recommend you go check it out. I have a recommended EQ as well that I think helps matters. Use it as a jump off point, but this is just, that's just weird. But hey, if he likes it, he likes it. He likes it. It's okay.
And the kind of treble quality that you get with the Buds Pro 2 is unlike that I've heard on any truly wireless earbud that I've tested till date.
There's that caveat that I have tested till date, unlike that which I have heard. I'm guessing he hasn't heard very much. So.
This is not like a big booming bass. It's very controlled, it's punchy, and it's very impactful, and the decay is not too much, and there's fairly decent fast attack as well. In fact, even the mids don't hold back in the mix, and finally...
Like the mids aren't recessed? Is that what he means? And yet over here it shows it's presenting as a recess compared to the pink dashed line. So what are you talking about? Also, the whole point about the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2 has a lot of sub bass, and the sub bass makes it sound like it's interfering with the mids. That's the default Pixel Buds Pro 2 EQ. Not the balanced EQ. That's not what it comes out of the box is the default EQ, and that has too much sub bass. The balanced EQ, Google knows this. The balanced EQ actually just reduces that sub bass. That's basically all it does. And the mids, I don't know what he's talking about at this point.
The imaging is absolutely divine. Overall, it's definitely...
The imaging is divine. Just divine. Not good. It's divine.
And I know that a lot of audiophiles are not getting very excited about the Pixel Buds Pro 3 because it doesn't have the high-res codec support. But trust me.
The audiophiles are not getting too excited about the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2 because it's tuned wonky as... It's not to do with the high-res... No, forget the high-res codec, for heaven's sake.
You don't need it. It's that good. Apart from the sound, the ANC is decent. The battery life is pretty...
Okay, look, I'm giving it a bad... It doesn't sound bad. It sounds reasonable. It sounds very clean. The bass sounds tight and punchy and well controlled. To be fair, it's just weird in the high frequency range. And it's weird in part of the mid range. There's a certain amount of lack of emphasis on a certain part of the mids that doesn't make any sense. It's just wonky tuning compared to Apple. I mean, this is Google we're talking about. Apple, Sennheiser, Samsung, those are the guys these guys are going up against. You'd think they'd just hire a YouTuber. You don't even have to hire a sound engineer. Hire a YouTuber and he'll make a wavelet preset that will make this sound better. Google is one wavelet preset away from having awesome sound. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know what this gentleman is talking about.
And the touch sensor on the buds themselves have like volume control as well, so you can swipe up and down. And once you get used to it, it's not that difficult, honestly. And finally, I really like the design of this case. You know what? Google's product designers are some of the best in the industry right now. They just make these really cute products here. Alright, now moving on to the Astell&Kern UW100 Mark II.
Oh, here's the Astell&Kern. Of course, it's quite a Google Pixel Buds Pro 2. It's a weird as fuck review. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was talking about. He used all these terms, right? These subjective terms, and then he tried to back that up with a graph, but the graph wasn't explained very well at all. I guess that's just for audiophiles who know how to read the graph, but most audiophiles don't know how to read that graph. And also he missed out the most important and weird things about the frequency response was everything above 1-2 kilohertz. It's just, let me be nice and say that he could do a little more work in how he presents it. And also cut the crap. Now for the Astell&Kern.
Mouthful, but these are probably the most requested in terms of, Esha, when are you going to review them? Primarily because they've been deeply discounted.
Ooh,
initially when they launched, the price was about 25,000 rupees and now it's available for under 5,000. That's one.
Under 5,000 rupees for non-Indian viewers is like sub $80, that sort of thing. Really, really good price actually.
Fourth the price. Now, of course, at 25,000 rupees, a lot of us review.
It's 1/5 the price actually, but math, not important.
Viewers probably didn't take a look at it because there were many issues, there were features that are missing, and they're like, can we even recommend this? But at 5,000 rupees, you can overlook all of them, and let me explain why. Just like the Pixel Buds Pro 2, the UW100 Mark II is also a resolution monster. I mean, obviously,
another resolution monster, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not as good as the Pixel Buds Pro 2, but it's pretty close and right up there. And
obviously, it's not as good as the Pixel Buds Pro 2, but clear up there and pretty close. Like, what is so obvious about that? I don't understand. What is obvious? You haven't explained why it's obvious. Why is it obvious? I'm a beginner audiophile. I would like to learn why it is obvious.
And the main reason for that is because the UW100 Mark II has technically superior hardware. So what you get are a pair of Noel's balanced armature drivers, and you also get a 32-bit DAC built inside these. And there's...
How many bit DAC is in the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2? Has he mentioned that? I'm not saying it's more than this. I'm not. But has he mentioned it? Does it even matter if you're using the AAC or aptX codec? Does it matter? Also, 2 balanced armatures doesn't automatically mean it's better than a single dynamic driver is awesome. It's just...
It's an acoustic chamber as well. Plus, you get support for at least aptX adaptive, if not LHDC and LDAC. So, these are definitely high-resolution monsters, especially if you have...
There's that word again, high-resolution monsters. Whoa. Define resolution now. Forget micro detail. Let's just define resolution. Just, if he can define resolution, then we should all just forget our channels and just go home and just chill out. If you explain to me what resolution or micro detail is, I'll be happy. I'm just going to go and have a lie down after that. I'm done. This is good. Everything has been achieved.
Have an Android phone. And all of this hardware put together actually produces a sound that's rich, that's very detailed, and definitely very treble focused as well. So I would classify this as bright sounding, with also a good amount of emphasis on the mids. So the mids are very smooth, they're clean and refined. Plus the imaging on these, just like the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2, is immaculate. I just found them very good. But the problem with the UW100 Mark II is...
The Google Pixel Buds Pro 2 imaging was divine. This one is immaculate. There's 2 different things, mind you. Just don't confuse them. They're not the same. Be warned. Is
that the quality of the bass is good, but the quantity is definitely not enough, even for somebody like me who doesn't want that much quantity. But the bass response in general, at least the mid-bass response is fast.
I'm very curious to see if he throws up a frequency response.
But I would have liked a little bit more.
I want to see how much bass.
By the way, since this has a built-in DAC, inside the app, you've got the option to...
Every Bluetooth earbud has a built-in DAC. It gets digital audio over Bluetooth. You're not transmitting analog audio. That digital has to become analog because every Bluetooth earbud has a DAC. This is not the only one.
To adjust the roll off and the decay. And these are filters basically. And this is something that you will not find in any truly wireless earbud.
Also, these are features that don't really matter. Filters, most people can't hear beyond 16 kilohertz once they get a little older. Some can, most cannot. These filters mostly affect frequencies above that. If you're young and you can hear up to 22 kilohertz, which we all could at one point, some more than others, then sure, you could hear a difference between the filters. And some of us, as we grow older, have preserved our hearing to the point where we can. It's mostly genetic and also environmental. If you spend a lot of times in clubs, then forget it. You're not listening to anything. But as you get older, as you're 35 plus, generally these filters are barely, if ever, going to make a difference, and they're definitely not going to make a difference to overall sound quality. So it's basically a pointless thing, mostly.
But for that matter, which is damn nice, pretty impressive. But that's where the accolades stop. Because the app itself, if you look at it, it's very badly designed.
No more
there are
divineness.
compatibility issues.
Forget
now, the design
immaculateness.
does look very interesting and very, very unique. There is a problem with it. It does not have the best fit, in my opinion, and it keeps
They do
falling
look like
off. So if you're
chonkers,
considering buying one for workouts, then I wouldn't suggest this. And the most important reason why most reviewers didn't touch it when it was 25,000 rupees was because it doesn't support ANC. Despite the fact that the passive noise isolation is the best in the industry, it's really good. Also, the touch controls are a little fiddly because of the design itself, and the mic is average at best. Alright, now it's time to talk about the IEMs, and I'm going to start off by talking about the
No frequency response?
Aurora.
Where's my frequency response? That was a fully subjective review with a lot of subjective things thrown at you with no context whatsoever. But okay, alright. It's a mid-forward, treble-focused IEM that is a detail monster, resolution monster, whatever the heck that was, with features that really don't make a damn difference to anyone, and a DAC. It has a DAC, don't forget. It's just freaking okay.
Ultra. Now, it's quite a mouthful, so I'm going to be calling it Aurora for the rest of the review so that, I can maintain my sanity. Now,
what about my sanity? Like, did he even think about my sanity here? What is this? Like, it's a bit selfish, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just going to fast forward through this bit to see if he's backing anything up with frequency response, to see if he has some kind of coherence in what he's saying.
now currently, I must say, the fit
It's by Rose Technics. Rose Technics makes okay stuff.
decent, creamy, comfortable fit in your ear. At least for a little bit, I use change. What reference grade?
We have another graph. Wait. I want to hear what he says here.
Which is good. Alright, now let's talk about the sound signature. That's what
Yes,
you've been
let's.
waiting for.
Damn
So
right.
what I define the sound signature as is like, fun and musical. It's definitely not reference grade. It's a proper mild U-shaped sound. But I'm sure
Okay, it is a proper mild U-shaped sound going by that graph, and it is
Musical.
definitely
It's definitely-
a non-reference grade. I don't know what reference grade really is.
it's a proper mild U-shaped sound, but I'm sure that it is very inoffensive and a lot of people will definitely enjoy listening to it. So the Aurora Ultra actually excels in two
seems
aspects
reasonable.
of the sound, which is basically in detail retrieval and in imaging. Up until now, in the 2,000 rupee price category, the Moondrop Chew 2 was my details monster. Now this one comes really, really close, and even the imaging is so good. In Skrillex's really awesome bangers, Zena, you can actually hear a cacophony of instruments in the penultimate section of the song. And in that specific section, there are a lot of sub 2K IEMs that will not be able to reproduce all of the instruments clearly. That is where the Aurora Ultra actually comes forth with a fairly good sort of reproduction. The sound also feels very full-bodied, and it's got a very
I'm going to take his word for it. I haven't heard these, so alright.
lush response. So of course you've got dollops of bass going on. So if you're like a bass head, you'll definitely appreciate the kind of bass that's available. But the only problem with it is that it's not like the best quality bass. I would have preferred like a little bit more attack, a little less decay as well. The treble also has fairly decent
A little more attack, little less decay, so just tighter bass. Not the greatest quality bass, you've got a lot of bass.
extension, and it's got a little bit of shimmer and sparkle that might give you the illusion of detail, but it's not very refined treble. Again, keep that in mind. It's me, but a lot of people have also said that at higher volume levels, the treble peaks can get slightly sibilant and, slightly irritating. And the mids are
Yeah, just like the Google Pixel Buds Pro 2 can. Spicy as heck for no reason. Although it doesn't quite get super sibilant. It's just that hotness that I should move on from the Pixel Buds Pro 2. Let's move on.
Slightly recessed, but not too much for it to be that much of a problem. Now, these are characteristics that I generally expect from a sub 2K IEM's sound signature, and that's exactly what we can hear from the Aurora Ultra. Now,
Okay, but the Chew 2 has better characteristics. You just literally showed a thing that has better characteristics than this.
why am I recommending the Aurora Ultra is because
I don't know.
works for popular mass
You haven't
genres
explained.
of music. It works very well for Bollywood, pop, rock, hip hop, and of course your EDM as well. Which is why I feel like if somebody's stepping into the audiophile hobby and doesn't want to spend too much money and is not looking for something like reference grade because reference grade can be boring, then this could be the right step into the hobby for.
Okay, I actually understand where he's coming from here, because a mild U shape or V shape is generally something that people associate with fun, and if you introduce them that way, then it's a gateway. It's a gateway into the audiophile world. You have a little bit of fun sounding IEM, and then you introduce them to less fun and get them used to the fact that you don't need to pump bass up so much. So, okay, I understand where he's coming from here.
For them, the Aurora Ultra would be a very good beginner audiophile IEM under 2,000 rupees. Alright, so the next one on my list is this one, the KZ Castor Pro. I'll keep it short for this one. It's also available for under 2,000 rupees. And the main reason why I'm recommending it is because it is KZ's most smooth, most refined sounding IEM under 2,000 rupees.
Okay.
It's actually kind of smooth and refined to an extent where I thought that Moondrop has tuned it, but that's not really the case. KZ has.
This graph is from KZ. It's from the manufacturer. So pinch of salt there. You don't know what kind of scale they're using. They're showing, they're showing their scale though. This one's not too bad. This does look good in this graph, to be fair. I don't know what kind of smoothing they've used, but looks like a warm V shape, kind of, sort of.
Associate with KZ products in general. And since KZ is like this OG Chi-Fi champion which has got a very good brand value and recall in India, at least within the audiophile community, it's like an easy recommendation for me. So yeah, if you're looking for the best KZ IEM under 2,000 rupees, you really cannot go wrong with the KZ Castor Pro. But remember this, that it will have a bad quality cable. You would not get a carry pouch within the box itself. Yeah, the negative aspects of KZ that we generally associate with the brand, that stays here. Now for my final IEM in the list, I have picked out the Meze Alba. I did get a lot of comments on the channel asking me to review this, and I've got this for you. In fact, you know what? Meze is a brand that I've been following since their inception, since they first launched the 99 Classics, which even today is a fantastic headphone. Now, this Romanian brand has also got the Alba, and this Alba is a pair of IEMs that is priced under rupees 10,000 right now. And I've routinely seen them for go under rupees 7,000, and there are some things that are pretty awesome about these. Firstly, the zinc alloy structure and just the way they look and the way they are built is absolutely gorgeous. And since this is tiny, the fit is also fantastic and the seal is really good for my ears. What I'd suggest is that swap out the silicone tips for foam tips so that you can get a better seal. The cable is...
It's always a good idea. Foam tips give you a better seal, give you better resolution for free because they isolate the noise. Foam tips, free resolution. Not everybody likes them, but they do work.
And the focus is purely on refinement. In terms of car analogies, the Meze's drivers are so refined that they remind me of Honda's engines in the sub 10-15 lakh price category as opposed to something like a Hyundai. Now, which IEM in that meant, then what stands out is the refinement in the treble.
What stands out is everything other than the treble. Everything is so nice and smooth. Look at it. It's really nice right up to the treble, where it has some irregularities. It's falling out. I'm not saying it's bad treble, but it's everything about this graph except the treble looked awesome. The treble is the one place where it looks a little bit wonky and you could have a little bit of an issue with it, and there's a lot of inconsistency. Some of the stuff he's talking about is understandable. Like when he talks about the fit and the feel and the controls, and he's a tech reviewer, so he's doing all that pretty much on point. But when it comes to the audio stuff, he uses a lot of subjective language, he gives no context, and then he puts up graphs and then just points to all the wrong things. And I feel like the graphs are just there to kind of validate everything, to make it feels like he's just putting the graphs there to make it seem like, oh look, we put graphs, we know what we're talking about. But it doesn't correlate. What he's saying and the graph is saying is just at odds with what the fuck is happening with tech YouTubers in India. Tech, reach out if you want to do better reviews. Honestly, or don't. Up to you. But you can do better. You can do better. And what the fuck is micro detail? Explain to me what the micro detail is. and explain to everyone else while you're at it too. Okay, I gotta get out. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go have a cold shower or something. All right, stay happy, stay peace. Oh, subscribe. Hit that like button because otherwise this video is pointless. But I'll see you in the next one. Stay happy, stay peaceful, stay colorful, and namaste.